Do you think the shocks are bad? Do you think they're bad? Alright, is it do-it-yourself Wednesdays? I don't know, I guess it could be unofficially because today I am going to be putting new shocks, new rear shocks on this thing. And my backside here is a little dirty, as you know it gets sometimes. So I'm going to take all this out to get to the top of the shocks, which are down in there, and then I got to jack it up and get the wheels off. I guess unofficially it is do-it-yourself Wednesdays yet again with vehicles. Anybody who owns a vehicle, it's kind of like owning a sailboat. You get to drive around, you get to go to a lot of places, but you're constantly working on it or having someone else do it. Luckily, again, I'm able to do it all myself. Time to take this thing apart. It crops the video. Why does it do that? That was a very ominous shot. I liked it. Hey, Leaf, come here, Leaf. Leaves. I swear, you have to take so many friggin' things off just to get to one part. It's crazy.
Why'd you strip that hole in the back of that?
I have to get to the panels. I gotta get to the top of the struts.
Oh my god! I'll shove it back with here. That will make it all better.
Those are off. Oh, it's loose now. Ow. I knew that one was going to be tough. Okay, because it can be tougher. More tough? Break out the big boy. Okay, it does just slide off. It's just really freaking rusted. Surprise, surprise. Really rusted. Just trying to make some room. Oh, I really hate this shit. Of course, the other side popped right off. Besides being a total douche, so I don't have a grinder, I don't have a reciprocating saw, aka a sawzall. All I've got is this, so I'm just gonna see what the hell I can do. Making progress. What? Pedal fatigue. Cut it. I do cut it. Alright, I'm back at it. I did get both of them off. I had to cut that one, as you can see. Here's the old shock, and this is the one that I know for a fact was bad, and after you get it apart you can tell how bad it actually is. Not supposed to be able to do that, and it gets hung up. Definitely a bad shock. Picked up a little assistance to get the rest of that knuckle covering, that knuckle part off of the hub. So, best thing about these, they're spring loaded. I have this handy dandy ratchet here with the sockets that have holes in them. So that I can put this on the nut, put this Allen wrench through it, and hold the shaft, turn the nut on. Alright, I'm going to hold this side down so that side is able to shoot off, I hope. That's all she wrote. This shock here is actually still good. I'm going to replace it anyway. So now I have to get the rest of that off. It's fused to it, so I'm going to have to grind it off. It's supposed to look like this. So yeah, let's get to grind it. Flowing. Oh my goodness. There you have it. Everything was stuck on there. So what I did was ground it down until I could see the shaft underneath. Then just beat the crap out of it. It helped loosen it up so you can get it off. And there you have it. Freaking thing is finally off of there. This is what we're left with. As you can see, I did get into it a little bit right there, but not too bad. It's just a small indentation. So I'll get all this cleaned up, put some Never Seize on it so it doesn't seize up like that ever again, and good to go. Alright, now the super fun part, getting the new shocks into this. I think this extends long enough to put this on and then use this nut to compress it down. I think. We'll find out. It's extending. And what do you know, it does not. I have two options. Either A, I could leave it like this and I could put this down, use my body weight to push this thing in to get the nut on it. I could wrap some wire around the spring and compress it. Just keep tightening the wire down and compress it. Or I could go ahead and install this part in the SUV and this part, and then use a jack underneath the hub to compress the spring. I might do that. I'm going to try my body weight first. I mean, worst thing can happen is slips and falls and bounces. No big deal. So I'm going to try that and see if it works. At least then if it slips, it doesn't have the potential to shoot off into the stratosphere or into my face. Okay, so that's possible. It's going to take way too much force, and forgive me, but a little too dangerous. A little close to a region I don't want to get hurt. First things first, gotta get this peg cleaned up. Let's go ahead and get some of this here aluminum anti-seize lubricant. There we go. All lubed up. Alright, so my spring compressor idea didn't work out too good. That failed horribly, which I don't have any wire, at least nothing strong enough to really do anything with. So what I did was in stages. I took my little scissor jack here and put it underneath. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there we go. Put it underneath of the underneath the shock. Mounted this top part from the inside, which the mounting bolts for it are two here, one over here, and then this is the top of the shock, the strut assembly. And once that was mounted, I slid the shock and the spring in here, and then put the jack under it, jacked it up until it came up even with this this peg for the little bushing, for that knuckle bushing thing here on the end of the shock. Knocked it on there with a hammer, and jacked all of this up more to really compress the spring to give me enough room to put the nut on the top. And of course then I had to stick like something down in there and kind of wiggle it around, and it took me a while to figure it out, but what I had to do was I had to take a screwdriver into the Allen screw hole part on the top of the shock and just kind of wiggle it and let it expand very slowly to come through the hole, and got the nut on it. So now I'm going to take this piece back off. Probably don't need to, but I'm going to, just so I can get that top nut tight enough, because I don't have an Allen wrench long enough to really go down in there and really get a good grip So I'm going to take this off, tighten it up, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Get this thing put back together. There we go. You can see it's still not down far enough. It's still not compressed enough because when I did that before, it actually popped off and was even. So this really does need to be compressed a lot more. So let's get the rest of it off, get it out of here and compress it. It's a beautiful fall day though. I don't know torque specifications for this. I guess I could look it up, but quite honestly, I don't really care that much. There we go. Compressed and ready to go. Let's get the other one done. Alright, there we go. It's on. I have the nut on the back side here. I'm going to tighten it down with the impact wrench. So now I got to get the inside back together. Well, that side anyway. And that's it. Passenger side of the SUV is done. So let's get to the other side. Alright, let's get this put on and get this freaking thing back together and on the road. Sorry, I don't really have enough room on this side to get the camera and the light and me in here. So there it is, all in. Still got to tighten down that bolt with the impact wrench. But it's in. And to recap, what I did is even though the spring had come off of this top part here, the spring had come off, I went ahead, put everything together. I went just like this, stuck it up in there, set it down onto the jack, jacked the whole thing up, made sure everything was lined up here. I'd go up top, put a couple of nuts on, continue jacking it on up until it lines up with the shaft here. Go ahead and slide it on there. That way you know everything is right. And you know this part here isn't going to move. So if the jack slips or something, you're not going to get hurt. You're not going to hurt anything. You're not going to break anything. So then I'd go up top, and up top, which down in this hole right here, you can kind of see the reflection of the nut. That's the top of the shock. These are your mounting bolts. And then that's the top of the shock. So I would put a screwdriver down in there and I'd kind of wiggle it and let it raise up on its own. Once it was poking through enough to get a few turns of the nut on there, I would put the nut in there, put a few turns on it, and then I would go back down. I would knock the bottom of the shock out, put the jack back under it again just to support it. I'd come back up here, take off the top mounting screws, take the whole assembly off, take it over to the workbench, put the ratchet, the Allen screw on there, torque it down so that it's compressed and the nut is all the way on the shock. Come back over here, put it back in there, put the jack under it if I needed to. This side over here I actually didn't do that. I put it up in there and I was able to just push down on the hub and slide the shock right onto that little shaft. And then I put the bolt behind it. And then I went and put the jack under there anyway, just to jack it up to take some stress off of the nuts up here. So I jacked it up, put the nuts on there, tighten them down, tighten everything else down. Good to go. So now I got to get the wheel back on, get the inside put back together, let this thing down. Should be golden. Alright, I guess I'll call that a successful mission and another unofficial do-it-yourself Wednesday, I guess. I don't know. replaced the shocks in a 2004 Mitsubishi Endeavor. Successfully, I might add. Thought I would do a do-it-yourself video since I had to change the shocks on my SUV anyway. Thought I'd show it. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you again real soon.